It compressing, man. 3.5 hours. Do this together, man. It starts with us. It ends with us.
Hey, no cheers!
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
You have to have a contract with yourself of what greatness looks like, what winning. You have to have a contract with.
What the heck?
You have to have a contract with yourself of what greatness looks like, what winning. You have to have a contract with.
I don't know. You gotta have a contract with yourself of what it looks like. And that contract is non-negotiable. That's what he was trying to say.
Right?
I don't know what's up with that, but what's up with it? Welcome to Bart, that Bay Area Raider talk. I'm here with my Nizzo for Shizzo Pizzo. What's good with you, my brother?
What's going on?
Oh man, you know, we got Ray in the building already. He in the trenches already. Raider Nation, please stand up. What's good? What's good? Man, we'll work out the bugs later. Yeah, when you do things at the last minute, sometimes some things go wrong. I added that at the end. But it's cool. It's all good. I'll play it later for another show. The message will always apply. But man, y'all seen it? We go today we talking about the football marriage made in heaven. You know, as you guys see, Brock Bowers just got engaged. In case you guys didn't see that or didn't know who that was on the thumbnail, that's our big man Brock. You know, the time to knock. Congratulations to him. Let's take a look at that because this is in your feelings Monday. So we're gonna be a little bit in our feelings. I'm a little bit in my feelings because we still talking about this quarterback competition that I've been trying to tell y'all. Well, actually, Pizzle and I have been trying to tell y'all since like April 3rd. And so and now even the national media has came and start to say this is not a competition, but there's a few of y'all that's still out there hanging on the hope. So you saying there's a chance. So you guys are holding on. But let's look at my man Brock Bowers get engaged, y'all.
Don't do it.
What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now?
She's like, don't do
No, what? No, you're not. Wait, what's happening right now?
Oh, she.
Serious?
Be married.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dreaming right now. Is this actually for real?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, yes!
Well, there you go. Thank you.
Oh my god. We are. This is in the home.
Yeah. Frank Weber.
Man, don't listen to Pizzle.
You know,
Don't listen to Frank
listen
Webb.
to Pizzle. Listen to me.
Don't listen to neither one of them.
Keep your wealth to yourself.
Nope, don't do it because there's more to it than just your money. You can't even take your money with you, but
It
you
don't
can
matter. I ain't giving half
but
to
you
her
can't,
for 2 years.
but you can. Don't listen to them. Congratulations to Brock. Congratulations, he found his person. She was with him before he had the money, so
Yeah,
it's
she gonna be without him
easier to
after.
find a woman that before you have the money than after you have the money. So congratulations to Brock. I ain't trying to hear that. Frank Weber said, hey, so that's his future ex.
Yep. See, even he knows.
Yeah, that's just his opinion, but it's Brock's
The,
money. Why y'all
the
pocket
math.
checking Brock?
I don't even care about his money. It's the math. I'm just saying don't do it because of the math.
Because of the math.
Yeah, you know the statistics on divorce, don't you?
So what?
They ain't
So,
low.
so that everybody doesn't fail. Usually, if you have the mentality that you're going to fail, you're probably going to fail.
No.
So, sure, it could happen, it could not happen, but He felt like that's what he needed to do, and it's the right thing to do to get married, man. You shouldn't be running around here just having premarital sex with just whoever you want to. So,
No.
shout out to Brock. Yeah.
You should try to tell
Well,
all
you
the
better
NBA players.
and you don't even know he could have a prenup. You don't even know. So why
No,
y'all
I
just
don't even.
can't be
I'm even saying for the money.
why y'all just can't be happy for the man?
I'm happy for him
No, it
and
don't
sad
sound
for him
like
at the
it.
same time.
Yeah, exactly. It sound like
He giving up his freedom.
no freedom of what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not even get into it. Anyway, he said, have you seen Jackson Powers Johnson's wife? Like, dang, she's a 11. Really? Yes, yes, yes. So congratulations to you, Brock. I'm happy for you, bro. What the heck is going on here? So, but let's talk about the other marriage that's going on.
Yeah, before somebody gets hurt.
Let's talk about the other marriage that's going on. The marriage between the quarterback and this new franchise with its new head coach. I guess we're just gonna keep on talking about this until I don't know, until they put Mendoza in. Like everybody's gonna not everybody, the same people are gonna keep on complaining and keep whining about the fact that Mendoza's not starting because he's the number one quarterback. I mean, he's the number one pick, which doesn't really make sense to me, but okay, well, whatever. So, Kirk Morrison came on the podcast, and not this one, but on the podcast and said that Mad Max got a chip on his shoulder. Let's start there. And let's see what he's talking about because angry Max is an inspired Max, and an inspired Max is a good Raider defense.
First round pick in Max Crosby. Like, think about it. We thought he was gone. And I'm like, oh, what are we going to do without Max? And all of a sudden the trade doesn't happen, right? And Max is still a Raider. And so we went through that little 2 days of grief. And then we realized we've got a first round, generational, talented guy who can go out and get after the passer.
So I kind of like the perspective that he's taking. He's like, we essentially traded him off, right? And we started building our defense as if he's not there. But then when the trade didn't go through, it's essentially like we got a first round pick back in Max Crosby, a first round pick in a player in Max Crosby. So we added a first round pick to this defense. Now, I know it's not literally that, but I do like that mentality and that mindset. And I like Kirk Morrison as a linebacker too. He was definitely good to me. So I like that perspective.
He's the leader of this defense. There'll be a new defensive coordinator this year, and Rob Leonard, who was the defensive line coach the previous couple of seasons. And this is going to be a different type of defense. This is going to be attacking a downhill. Rob loves the blitz. You can just see it in him, and he wants to bring pressure. And the pressure is really going to be. He loves it, dude. Like, this is what he wants to do, man. So I love that this new defense will allow Max Crosby, I think, to go to a different level of I think where he's at in his career. Now, look, we've added some pieces along, whether it's through the draft or, bringing on a Kwity Paye who's going to play on the opposite side of him, or bringing back Malcolm Kuntz, guys who can get after the quarterback. But I think the big thing here is that the Raiders went out and spent a lot of money in the draft. When you're talking about offseason moves and bringing in Quay Walker at linebacker along with Nakobe Dean, and then they go out and draft 4 dudes in the secondary, they are going to cover on the back end to give Max and those guys up front enough time to get after the quarterback, man. I'm excited to see what this defense looks like. It's going to be some guys who are very versatile. And one thing you already know, Jim, they play for the Raiders. So what does that mean? They are fast. They got some speed behind them, dude.
All right, so we're going to have an aggressive defense. I'm glad to see that we're going to blitz. Well, from the sounds of it, like we're going to blitz. We're going something that we really didn't do a lot of. And then he mentioned bringing in four people in the defensive backfield, and then we also signed Taron Johnson as well. So with that being said, if we could cover long enough for those guys up front to get home, then that's going to be a plus. And it also works the other way. If we can get enough pressure with the addition of Quiddy Pay and um, Quay and the Kobe Dean, if we can create pressure on the quarterback is forced to throw the ball faster, and then we can also get turnovers that way. So it sounds like our defense is going to be different than what we're used to. What's your thoughts on your boy Kirk Morrison's thought process?
Yeah, I like the way he's thinking. You know, like he just went over it. You know, he went over. We built up the back end, which is what we really needed to do anyway. We needed to address that. I didn't personally like it, but it's something that I guess apparently we had to do. If they want to run it back with a defensive front this year, see what we need, I guess we're going to have to go with that. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. And I don't know, but we're going to find out if he's blitz heavy or not. I mean, that's just Patrick Graham. It wasn't very blitz heavy.
Yeah.
So not that it doesn't sound great, right? It all sounds great, but if you got a guy that knows how to beat the blitz, you're not going to blitz that much because you're going to burn you all damn day.
Well, there's no perfect mixture of what to do. I mean, you don't blitz every down. I'm sure you kind of just pick and choose when you blitz. We weren't blitzing at all, really. I mean, like except for maybe the linebacker a little bit. We were blitzing. That's how I ended up with like 100 and 200 tackles.
Right.
But but if we can blitz from different areas, different times, different scenarios, different situations, then I think that's good. It keep offenses on their toes.
Yeah, it
It keeps them
doesn't.
guessing.
And also with the speed that we have, they can get there. And when you don't have
Yeah.
speed, you can't get to the quarterback. So it's another reason why he brought in these speed guys. So they can do a corner blitz, I guess, or a safety blitz.
hmm And Webb says, of course, a first rounder would have been cheaper than Max, but no guarantees that he would have been better, especially if Max motivated. Exactly. I agree with that. Many people are saying, man, we gave up 2 first rounds. Like, it, it doesn't guarantee anything. It just doesn't. I mean, it sounds good on paper and it sounds good in Madden. In Madden, having 2 first round picks might be cool, whatever. Uh, but this is not Madden. The reality is all all first rounders don't necessarily pan out. It would have been a late first rounder because they are a playoff team, the
Right.
Ravens. So it's not like we would have got like a top five picks or something, or a two top 10 picks or something like that.
Nope.
Then I mean, of course, that's a little more enticing.
Right, but
Because
they might not even be that good this year. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I just don't think that because they got that new coach coming in. The Ravens got a lot of stuff going on over there this year too, though. So it's not going to be the typical John Hardball Ravens.
Yeah, they do have new coach and everything, so it's kind of new culture, and we
Right.
don't really know what their culture is going to be, right?
Right.
Um, but I mean, I've seen some pundits say that the Ravens are, playoff team still, maybe even in the hunt for a Super Bowl. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't necessarily think they're going to be that good. I mean, they weren't able to get over the hump with Harbaugh. What is this coach going to bring that Harbaugh couldn't? Because it
Right.
could be something as simple as how they pick players or how they go about their roster. It could even be the quarterback too. Not that he's not good, it just not be a good fit for what they're trying to do because they added the running game that didn't help. So, they essentially added. They kept trying to help him, you know, Lamar Jackson, but it just haven't translated. And when they're right there, then Andrews dropped the ball. So I don't know.
Yeah, the
Flores
Ravens,
said, just go ahead.
the Ravens are just, yeah, like I said, dude, they're just missing a little bit. But I don't think this guy's. What are you going to bring to the table that Harbaugh isn't already bringing? Like all you're gonna do, like there when Harbaugh left over there, all the guys on the defense were like, "Yay, we don't have to pad up anymore." Like he was running, we were in pads all the time. Well, yeah, that's what it takes if you want to win, dude. You're celebrating that like you're about to go to a losing culture.
Yeah. Well, times is different now. Players are different, so sticking them in pads isn't going to necessarily make them better because they're going to present it and then go half-assed at it. So I don't understand how you get better without being in pads, but okay. But this is just a new culture because everybody's not doing it. So that means the whole talent level of everybody's going to go down versus just maybe like one team. I can see if they were the only team just not doing it or one of the few teams not doing it. It's the whole NFL that's like that because they don't want to get them injured or whatever. Protect the product.
Yeah, but
So,
that's getting them injured more though. That's the problem.
well, yes, but they won't know that until after some years go by so they can do their
But
advanced stuff.
there has been like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, there has
I
been for years, like all the studies, all the ACLs that have been getting blown out, like all the Achilles tendons that are getting blown out. Like these are all non contact injuries too. Like it's because they're not physically ready. They're not going through the conditioning programs that they used to go through. I know, like I never done it, but it's got to be pretty physical, right? And you gotta numb your body up, right? You gotta get bruised up. And that's why it takes 3 days to recover on Sunday. You know what I mean? You're not getting up. What up? We the people. You're laying in bed. You're calling a taxi. They take you to the bathroom. Like, it gets tough. So, you know, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah, there's studies that injuries are on the rise, but they contributed sometimes a lot of it to the playing surface because now we having conversations about shout out to Mark Davis because he's like we're sticking with the grass situation because I do think that a lot of the injuries, a lot of like non-contact injuries too, is because of the playing surface. Uh, I do also think it's because of the lack of physicality in practice and also the amount of practice. So I do agree with that there are stats and all that. I just think they haven't nailed it down to one specific thing. And at the end of the day, you guys have to remember this is sports entertainment. The entertainment is probably the most important part over the sport. So they want to try to keep players uh, playing as long as they can. But what they're not really understanding, I guess, or they just either don't care that
Hold on.
they don't understand or they don't care that the that the players are getting injured, what's the causation and what's the correlation. So I don't know. They'll do something about it. Let's see what you guys seem to think about it. Yeah. Jack Yates, what's good with you, brethren? He said young, fast, and dominated. I like that. You guys hit that like button because in the last couple of weeks my videos and my lives haven't been getting a lot of impressions. I don't know why it is. I don't even care. I just want to fix it. So if you guys can hit the like button so we can try to get this video out to people because the people that were coming before, they're not coming now. And like right now it says a certain amount of people, but I see that many or more people are commenting. So I don't know what's going on with the algorithm, but please hit the like button and help your boy out. Ray Flores says, when I play Madden Mobile, I have to have elite Heisman Trophy winning running back, quarterback, tight end, receiver, and elite offensive line. and neglect my defensive receiver. Are you playing Mad? He said, Mad Max, 20 sacks. We the people, what's good with you, brother? Mendoza Monday. Yes. Yeah, he said 10-7. Yeah, the turf fields, right. And the steroid abuse, right. The PED abuse has shown to weaken your ligaments and tendons. Yes. Yeah,
Who?
so I don't know.
Who?
They haven't really nailed it down to one specific thing or what it is, but uh, I can kind of like we can point our finger at a couple of those things. Uh, so he was saying that Max is us getting Max back is a plus. I'm starting to see more and more people are excited about Max being here. I'm hearing less and less about the things that they're upset at him about. Some people have turned their tune about how they, feel about Max. I don't know if it's genuine or not. A lot of people kind of go with the trend so that way they can kind of, finesse the fan. But overall, I'm loving to see what we're getting from Max because a lot of people are starting to ride the wave that he's our captain. Like I was saying, we need to get behind our captain, our the face of our franchise, and our defensive leader. So I'm glad to see that. Uh, Man, there was a Tom Telesco sighting. Tommy Telesco had something to say about the Mendoza contract. People were spazzing out about the contract not being done. I really wasn't worried about it. I think we only talked about it maybe like a half a time. And when we talked about it, it was like a nothing burger to me because I knew they were going to get it taken care of. Uh, it's not a matter of how much. It's just a matter of how much of the signing bonus they're going to get now.
Right.
And the Raiders had a certain way about how they go about doing that, and that was the negotiation part. But I don't think it was going to be something that stopped Mendoza from being on the field. So let's see what Tommy Telesco had to say.
Doing it again. I'm going with the Raiders.
Oh wait, that ain't Tommy Telesco. Hold on.
No, that ain't Telesco. That's
Oh no,
McCoy.
it's Gerald McCoy, right? Let me get to Telesco since I gave him this big good old intro. McCoy is next because he had something nice to say about the Raiders.
All right.
Collectively, I just believe that the Raiders can
Camp and Al Davis. They get done.
knows how to run this offense. And collectively, I just believe that the Raiders can surprise some people.
Okay.
This was
preview.
definitely going to get done. Tom Delaney's been doing their contracts with the Raiders going back to Al Davis. He's one of the best in the league that does it. So between him and then, I know Fernando Mendoza's representation, they're really fair. Knowing those two groups, there was no doubt that this was going to get done. There was zero chance there was going to be a holdout. So it got done day before he had to report to camp. And, these are the type of things, it sounds small, but it's a big enough negotiation with a big enough number that if you're the player, you'd like as much of that as possible now. So you get that money invested and then, the team's running a business, but never so much that this wasn't going to get done before training camp started.
Yeah, so it's a business decision. Speaking of business decision, make sure y'all hit that like button one time for the one time and make the right business decision. Don't be a fair Raider. It's the Bart show. You on the Bart. You got to pay your fare. Go on and hit the like button. But what he was saying, it's a business, right? So you want your money up front so you can do what you want to do with it. Invest it, so you can kind of have your money make money for you. But then it's also a business from the aspect of the Raiders. They want to pay you your money partial up right now, like a majority of part of it now, and then they'll give you two more installments in like a couple months or so. Me, looking at it from the business aspect, I'm saying, they essentially want to give you the money, write you a check out the checking account, for majority of it. and then wait till the season start when they selling popcorn, hot dogs, and jerseys, and
And
from
beer.
that money, and beer for sure, and from that money, write you a check from that money and not out of the checking account, and so you're able to keep more of your money as the franchise. But then from the opposite side, from McDozy, like, give me my chicken now. A lot of other players, they get their money up front. I think it was since 2019 was the last time the uh, first round pick that was a quarterback, or a first round pick that didn't get their complete sign-in bonus. But this is the Raider way. Like I said, I didn't think it was a big issue. I'm glad it's no longer an issue. Uh, some people thought it was some kind of conspiracy theory that they're doing this to so that he doesn't play, or or so that way they just give the job to Kirk Cousins. I heard some wild things. I mean, like, but then again, these are people that probably don't know ball that much or know the process that much anyway, um, and we're just spazzing out, and that worries me when I hear stuff like that. Like, there's a conspiracy theory on something like this. If you can make a conspiracy theory about this, you can make a conspiracy theory about a lot of stuff, boy. Like anything.
Yeah, well, there's 31 other teams, and then there's the Raiders. We're not doing what everybody else typically does. Like, I think
Yeah,
we're done giving full payment. Like, we did that one time in 07, and that didn't work out good for us.
yeah, we was cool with that. So So Telesco, like you said, we the people said Telesco had the ability to be a good GM. I kind of agree with you. Like, he kind of just got caught in a bad situation at the wrong time, really. So he probably got to take a little time off before you get another opportunity, right? Frank Webb said, "I really respect Mr. Davis. I've always have, and I always will. But I ain't so sure that he properly groomed his son for the eventual ownership of this team." Yeah, I agree. But at least he got smart enough to the point where he decided he was going to step out of the way.
Well,
I,
he made the decision not to want to learn. It's not that his dad didn't want to teach him. I don't think he was ever interested in the Raiders. He's not interested really in the Raiders right now. He's interested in the Aces. He's interested in other stuff, but he ain't really interested in the Raiders. He never really was. That was his dad's dream. That was his dad's thing.
well, to be fair, he definitely had his hand in a lot of things in the past years, and as Raider fans, we s- I know for sure a lot of people were calling for him to sell the team.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying for him to get out the way. He kept messing things up. And
Mm-hmm.
then when he went to Vegas and they gave him some other toy to play with, the Aces and the Golden Knights, is he owner of that too?
I'm not sure if he owns any of
But
that.
either way, we know the Aces, so they gave him another toy to play with, and he made some money because you got to remember they was worth 500 million when they left Oakland. Now they worth billions now. So all he had to do was get out the way and pay attention to the WNBA team and and essentially step out the way. So yeah, I don't think he's very interested now. I agree with you. I don't think he was necessarily as interested as Al Davis was, but I'm just glad he's out the way and we're starting to make competent decisions now. That's what I'm happy about.
Yeah, well, that's what had to happen, right? He had to become like an Eddie DeBartolo, bro. He's got to basically get the team, set the team over to the GM and the coach, and let them do their thing, because he has no idea what he's doing. Whereas the exact opposite with Al, he wanted to have his hand in everything, the talent pool, the the defense, the offense. He wanted his hand in everything. Special teams, he wanted to make the decisions on everything.
Flores says, he said, "That's a false narrative that I don't want out there. Mark Davis hires people to run the organization of the Raiders because of his long-time complications between him and his mother owning the team. Carol Davis is no longer a part of the organization or the ownership. Now, now he has way more sway on who he hires and runs the team. In no way In no ways, Mark Davis responsible for the poor performance of this franchise. The sole responsibility falls on the feet of who he has hired. Well, you can't. I agree with you saying like 3/4 of the way. Now you can't hire somebody and you're responsible for that, and then they mess up and say, "Well, that ain't me, that's them," because you're responsible for that still. Now I get that there was some whatever going on between him and his mom or whatnot, but at the end of the day, Mark Davis was the face of the ownership,
Mhm.
and the way whatever happens with the team, like I said, I'm starting with the top down, not the player up, and so he's the head guy. So whatever happens, he's responsible for it, good or bad. Because had the Raiders won a Super Bowl during that time, we'd have been talking about Mark Davis. So,
Uh-huh.
uh, I agree with you for the most part, but ultimately, Mark Davis is responsible.
Yeah, that's like a guy, and you hire a guy, he burns down your store, and then you're like, yeah, it's your fault for hiring him. It works that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. So Telesco goes on and talks about this quarterback competition, and listen closely, yo.
To be patient with it and take their time, which is great. I mean, if one thing the Raiders need to do is just take some patience. Like, they have the coaching staff set. They hired a head coach with an offensive background that should work very well with a young quarterback, and they have a plan put together to develop him in the right way. There's different ways to do it, but this is their plan. So it seems like this is not a quarterback competition. This is Kirk Cousins' job going into September. But then after that, like, to me, all bets are off. Like, if they're not playing, if he's not playing well, if the offense isn't moving the ball, and if Fernando has shown enough in the meeting rooms on the practice field that he's capable, I think you're going to see him out there at some point.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, uh, it's a lot of caveats to like it's clear that Mendoza is not going to start yet, right? But a lot of people like to say these things that, well, it could be this too. If this, if that, if this, if that, if this, right? Like, there's a lot of ifs. Like,
Ifs and buts.
sure, if the Raiders aren't playing well, if we're 2-8, like, okay, cool. It's clear that we probably need to go in another direction. But it depends. Why are we 2-8? Like, or if he does well in practice, or if he does well in the meeting room. Like, I don't know how much it's Kirk Cousins' job to lose, personally. I mean, like, basically, because you're not going to be in. First of all, Mendoza's not going to get that many reps in practice once the season starts in order to look like he's better than him. He's only going to get like 5 or 10 snaps in practice. Like, you don't split your reps with the ones with the backup. You don't. The backup is usually the scout team, or he'll get some plays, just in case that something happened. You just don't go in totally cold, but it's not that you're going to go and win the position once the season starts. So people are just kind of like riding this fence that, hey, if this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens, then this could happen. Yeah, well, what if Kirk Cousins go out there and this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens? Then Mendoza's gonna sit. Like, there's two sides of a coin. So I don't know. I think people just don't want to kind of discount it in the event that Mendoza does come in at some point. Then they can say, yeah, well, I said that. And a lot of people don't like to pick one side and just stick to it. They like to pick one side and then give the caveat for the other side.
No one likes to be wrong.
And no one likes to be wrong. Yeah, where have we heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to Gerald McCoy. Mr. Gerald McCoy has some things to say about Max Crosby in this upcoming season.
Yes, they got some speed behind them, dude.
Doing it again. I'm going with the Raiders.
And they were asking him, they asked him, who is the sleeper team this year? Who is the team that's a sleeper that people are going to sleep on? And he answered the Raiders.
Good answer.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Gerald McCoy,
Okay.
you have the
I know.
floor.
Well, once a Raider, always a Raider. I'm
I
always going
understand
to
that.
the Raiders.
I get it. I get it.
You know, and if I'm them, I take what they have and I really look at, is it necessary to throw Mendoza out there right now? A lot of people say, just throw him out there, you know, throw him in the fire, let him. One, Max Crosby has a point to prove. He's a little pissed off.
Okay.
Actually, he's a lot of pissed off. I was just with Max in Vegas. He has a point to prove. And Max is extremely upset. And he's going to have these guys on a mission.
He's upset about what, Gerald? Like, give me a point. He's upset that the trade got taken back because they didn't believe in his knee, and
yes,
that's what he's pissed
upset
about.
that he loves the Raiders, for one.
Okay.
But he was traded. Okay. But then he was given back. So it's almost like they saying, we don't really need you, but we need you. And then the other team is saying, you just kind of lost a step. We don't really trust you.
So
What do you think about that so far? Because essentially what he's saying is that Max is pissed at everybody. He's pissed that he got traded to begin with, and then he got pissed that they rescinded the trade. And a lot of pushback is being given that, hey, you're the one that asked for the trade.
Hella.
So what you think about all that?
I agree. You're the one who's asking. So, you know, like, what are you doing, dude? Why? I don't know what you're mad about. I could see maybe why you might be mad at the Ravens or something. But you ought to be happy that they did what they did.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying that he's not happy that it did work out this way. From what I'm gathering is this: he's upset that they traded him instead of going to go get the players that he's been asking for years. So when they did trade him, and then the Ravens pulled what they pulled, I can see every reason to be upset at that. I can understand him being very upset about that. And then when you're a high ultra competitor like that, like the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, and whatnot, you find any little edge to get upset to take you to another level. Do I think he's really, really upset with the Raiders? No, I don't think so. Because I think ultimately he's happy that it did happen. It played out the way it did. But at the same time, he was like, well, what took y'all so long to do it? Or he's just trying to find whatever edge he can to play at a high level. And you just get mad at anything. Because, like, I heard stories of Michael Jordan was like, this guy said something to me and went off on him and went for 45 on his head. Talking about he was mean mugging me and when I was walking into the arena. And then the dude, like, I didn't even see Michael Jordan that day before the game. Like, Mike just picked something to be pissed about to elevate his game. I think that's what Max is doing in this situation.
All right.
But I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I take it.
All right. Well, I mean, you know, I guess, but like for me, it's just, you know, like I said, all I can do is just, you know, I wasn't there for the conversations or anything when at the end of the season when he was mad at the Raiders for pulling him the last couple of games. All I can go on is the rumors and, you know, and what evidently happened with the trade. Whether he wanted it to happen or not, whether he's mad or not, them waiting until he was going until they upgraded the defense. You know, that's neither here nor there, right? I mean, that's bygones be bygones, you know. But yeah, I you know, I guess he's in his feelings about something though, and that's cool. If he's going to use that for self-motivation, and it's going to help him go out there and, you know, get a double-digit sacks and, you know, not get injured and, you know, be who Max be, I'm cool with it.
I mean, like, look at it this way. You and I got thrown from a train, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that motivated this person, Dig Dug, to step his game up because now he's doing a bunch of things that he wasn't doing before when we was around. But we got the blame for it, right? When you could have been doing this the whole time, it had nothing to do with what I did or what you did or anything like that. He just chose something to be angry at, and that elevated his game. So that's cool. If that works for Dig Dug, that works for him. Like if that's what motivates you, then that's cool. Now, there's a difference between motivation and inspiration. So we're going to find out, are you just motivated or if you inspired? Because I think Max is inspired because we've already seen him play at a high level, whether it was good or bad, the team was good or bad, if he was hurt or not. Now, as far as him being injured and they tried to shut him down, like I said, he's supposed to be mad at that. But at the same time, he got to understand that the franchise was making a business decision for the franchise and him. So and it ended up working out because had he not been shut down early for the surgeries and whatnot, then he would have missed camp. He would have missed camp. We'd have been talking about, well, we'll see. We got to wait till week 3 or 4 to see what kind of max we're going to get because it's going to take him a couple weeks to get into football shape. But now he's at camp. He showed up early with the rookies, and all that was because we're making competent decisions and we shut him down.
Agree 100%. Like I understand you being a little upset, but whatever. If you want to, I understand that you didn't know what coach we were going to get, right? Of course, but there had to be something going around the building, right? There had to be something going on that everybody knew, unless he wasn't even going to the facility at all because he was that mad. Maybe they booted him out of the facility until he came back from the raid. I have no idea, but he had to know that he had to know that Kubiak was in the conversation of being the head coach over there, right?
No, I don't think so. And especially when it comes to the Raiders, because we were linked to getting Johnson until it wasn't. We were linked to getting Stafford. Remember that last year in the offseason? And I was like, look, a lot of people use the Raiders as leverage to get what they want from the team that they really want. They always link themselves to the Raiders, and then when it's time for the Raiders to sign them, then all of a sudden in the 12th hour, they end up going somewhere else. So even if you heard the buzz around the facility that we're going after Kubiak, like we all knew that. We all knew that we was gonna go after him, but what were the chances of us getting him? I, I wasn't really confident that we were gonna get him. I wasn't out on it either. I just postponed my judgment altogether because I've been a fan of the Raiders long enough to know that you cannot count your chickens before they fry over here. So I didn't know until I heard him say, hell yeah, I'm going to the Raiders when he won the Super Bowl. That was the first time that I even understood that what was going on as far as our hunt for a head coach. So I don't know. I just think Max is just using this as fuel. Some people will call him a diva or whatever, but I just think this is the high level competitor in him just creating something in his mind to be constantly pissed at so he can play at a high level.
What up, Ralph?
What's up with you, Ralph? Let's see what the rest of what McCoy had to say because I want to get with Flores. Flores has some pushback.
The world is what you're saying.
Max is out to prove a point. I'm Max Crosby for a reason.
Okay.
And he's going to bring the guys with him.
And he's out to prove that point for the Raiders.
Yes.
Okay.
Quarterback-wise,
okay,
you got – for me, I just let Kirk Cousins rock. And if you don't have to throw out the kid, then you don't throw out the kid. But this offense, I believe that Kirk can run it. It's in that McVay tree, and he just knows how to run this offense. And collectively, I just believe that the Raiders can surprise some people.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole fact that Kirk Cousins understands the offense and Fernando hasn't even ran a NFL offense. He's ran RPO style offense in college. There's a big leap from that to running a Klint Kubiak system. So just that alone should just logically just sit in your brain that Fernando isn't better than Kirk Cousins. The only thing that's going to stop Kirk Cousins is if he hit a wall. I keep saying that. If he hits some kind of wall, some physical wall at 38, then okay, cool. It doesn't matter who the quarterback behind him. Then at that point, I mean, AOC will be better than him at that point. But that's not the situation. Kirk Cousins came. He won 4 games like in a row, 5 out of 8, 4 games in a row. That was the last time he was on the field. So looking at that, he's trending up.
When was the last time the Raiders won any games in a row? I'll wait.
Yeah, when was the last time they won 4 games in a row?
I'll wait.
That's the better question. When was the last time they won 4 games in a row? And we got nerves to thumb our nose at Kirk Cousins.
Won more
that's
games
crazy.
last year than we had all season.
For 2 years though. But we're talking about him being 38 though. I'm not understanding that part. Like how are we like beggars being choosers? Like I said, we're looking a gift horse in the mouth because we have a competent quarterback. But I know people are just saying that because really ultimately they want Mendoza to start. They're just hating.
Yeah.
They're hating on Kirk Cousins, but they'll be the same people if let Kirk Cousins come out and ball out like I expect him to.
I expect him to ball out too. You know I do.
Watch how many people try to low key like Kirk Cousins. Oh, I just thought he was
knew
old.
we should have started him. I knew we should have started him.
Yeah, like they're gonna treat him like they did Pete Carroll. Like Pete Carroll, when we got him, he was the competent coach. He was the OG, and then once it all played out, he was geriatric. Like,
he was Richard Simmons.
So I'm like, oh my God, come on, y'all, help me out. Hit the like button, y'all. Like I said, the algorithm is kind of messing with the channel. I don't know what's going on, but hit the like button, please, for your boy. Okay, Ray Flores says, I'll give you a good counterpoint. He says, Al Davis would be a good example of the opposite type of ownership that Mark Davis is. His father, his fingers, had his fingers in involved with the team. Now you can blame him. You'll literally cannot fire an owner of an NFL team. You can only push a narrative. I would agree with that. I mean, it's no different than like Jerry Jones.
Well, yeah, no, like Jerry Jones that's why they got along together. Two control freaks. They get along together. One's a billionaire, and one was a millionaire, though. That was the difference.
Boy, Jerry Jones had money before he really owned the team, too. So
yeah, I get it, but Al never really had. They never had money, bro. They were one of the poorest teams in the league, bro.
No, I understand.
One of the poorest owners in the league, anyway. And we still achieved a lot for what we had, which is amazing.
Amazing. So yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like, you can't fire the owner. And Mark Davis, now you can point the finger at whoever. I don't care. I don't care if, let's say, Spy Tech start messing up or whatever, these draft picks don't pan out or whatever, and we want to start blaming Spy Tech. I don't care. I'm still going to blame Mark Davis because Mark Davis is the one that hired Tom Brady, who hired all these people. So I'm not. You can't absolve yourself from the responsibility when you're the owner of the team. You just can't. Whatever, Raider Twine. So Weber says, the players' union now limits practice time, so that makes it harder for the younger guys to get time on the field and practice in camp. Yeah, and I don't like it.
It's entertainment,
Yeah, but they try to say it's to save the player. I mean, that might have been the intent, but I think it's hurting the player more than anything.
Yeah, they
But
use
I
that for
don't.
the excuse.
But then again, players nowadays, they tell me when they're younger, they work out more extensively than we did when we were younger because now they have coaches, individual coaches for kids now. So they got like 200,000 kids trying to vie for 2,000 jobs. And so now what they got, these have you seen like the top Warner teams and all this stuff? It's like it's out of hand. Like it's almost like mini NFL teams. Kids be cussing and everything. Like they think they're in the NFL already. So and
Huh.
they're like at a younger age they have more skill because they're being trained. So their body is worn more by the time they get to the NFL. But I don't know. You got to find that happy medium. You got to find a happy medium. Let me see. Born in 1964, fan since 74. Never do I remember a trade being rescinded, so that kind of makes the situation uncharted territory. Yeah, I don't know if a team has ever just declined a trade after they kind of had a gentleman agreement, but I know it haven't been one up to this degree. And I think it's well within their right to do it. I mean, it's no different than if you went to a car lot, right? And you talk to the guy, and then y'all going back and forth, and y'all finally come up with an agreement, but it's so late, you got to come back in the morning with the down payment check or whatever. And you go and you think about it, and you start being like, "Dang, man, that's a lot of money a month that I'm gonna have to pay, and the insurance, and you know what? I changed my mind." You know, and you might have filled out the paperwork and everything, but you ain't get a check yet, and it ain't finalized until they get that check, right? And if you decide that you don't want to do it, that's your prerogative. That's really your prerogative, just like it's their prerogative to do that.
Okay,
Because
Bobby Brown.
yeah, so they could do what they want to do. You can feel how you want to feel. So I'm not like I agree with you. It's uncharted. But I'm not making a big deal out of it. I'm happy that it didn't go through personally, because I promise you, if Max was not on this defense, I would say we're gonna win like 3, 4 games this year. I don't care who we put in. We could put in Kirk Cousins, we could put in Mendoza, and we can put in AOC all at the same time, and we're gonna win 4 games. That's without Max. So that's how I feel about that. Webb say, I'm surprised that the Ravens got away with that, what they did, because ultimately they used one player to leverage another player. I told you the Raiders get leveraged all the time. But at the end of the day, that I think they got the poor end of the deal. It's not like Henderson is better than Crosby. They're not even in the same breath. And he's injured. He's injured right now. Like he was injured last year. Like Max got his injury cleared up. So I think they got the raw end of the deal. I just think that being that they never traded off their first round pick before, and then they went and did 2 of them, and then somebody walked into the room and was like, "So y'all telling me we trading Tyler Lindenbaum and 2 first round picks for Max Crosby?" And it was like, you know what? It do look like that. And so they was like, "Nah, we can't do that. We can't do that."
Can't do it. I'm a Raider though.
I ain't gonna be able to do it. So, do Pete Carroll lose the Raiders locker room? Did Pete Carroll lose the Raiders locker room? Yes. Reports indicate that Pete Carroll largely lost the Vegas locker room during the disastrous 3-14 season in 2025, leading to friction mid-season. Yeah, well, let me see. This is Kubiak. Yeah, so yeah, he never had the locker room. I'm gonna say
Nope.
that.
Nope.
He never had the locker room
Nope.
because Front office, they caused this division. Tom Brady wanted one guy, Mark Davis wanted another guy. They didn't have a meeting of the minds about that. So now you already created a natural division in the team. And then Pete Carroll didn't make it worse because he essentially told Patrick Graham, look, check this out, man. I'm the defensive coordinator around here. Like, I'm a defensive coach, so I'm gonna have my hand in this business, and and it is what it is because this is
And
my
you can fuck off.
these
Woo.
and these. Go ahead. What'd you say?
He said, and you can screw off.
Yeah, and essentially that's what he did, and so being that he was like, I'm gonna go down with the ship the way I'm driving the ship. Then it just created a friction between everybody. And the locker room is not going to be united if the head office is not united. Because if anything, even if the players are divided, the head office needs to be unified.
Right?
Webb says this is Kubiak's first head coaching opportunity. I can't blame him for trying to limit the variables. A rookie quarterback is a hell of a variable. But sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially if you got a quarterback that's already a winner, that's thrown for multiple 4,000-yard years. He's got a good touchdown to interception ratio. Yeah, he's been hurt the last couple of years, but if we got a decent offensive line, we'll be good. He'll be good.
He was hurt 2 years ago, and Atlanta started playing games with him between him and Penix. And took him out, and then Penix got hurt, and then tried to put him. Well, not try to. They put him back in, and he was successful. And now they lost. They lost Kirk Cousins. The coach lost his job, and the GM lost his job, and Penix lost his starting job because he's still injured, and now he got to fight with Tua to get his starting position back. So he even is at square one. Matter of fact, he probably is a square -1 because at least when Kirk was there, they was trying to put him in over Kirk Cousins, and now he can't even get put in over Tua because he hurt, and he's not even playing at a high level. So I don't know. I don't care how they do what they gonna do. We already knew Atlanta got problems from the Super Bowl because the top down is dysfunctional. Let's get to the last thing. My favorite, Mike Florio, and he was with Chris Sims. I'm about to bake Chris Sims right now, y'all. Chris Sims and lost his mind, y'all. But let's see what Mike Florio had to say about the Raiders, because of course he's saying that if we don't start Mendoza week 1, then it's a waste of pick. And this is what he had to say about it.
Fernando Mendoza. He signed last week. Rookie deal in Las Vegas. It's all slotted. It's all standard. The only things you haggle over when you get to that point are, when am I getting my money? What's the cash flow on my signing bonus? And that is the vast majority of the payment that Mendoza will receive. That signing bonus, Las Vegas, no state income tax. That's good as well. And we knew it was all the rookies are signed. We knew that was going to happen. But there was a point last week, Chris, where the top 4 quarterbacks hadn't been signed. 3 of them represented by CAA. And I think that, when you're a quarterback, you try to leverage a little something. But you're not going to get any more money because it's all the product of a formula now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I didn't even realize it until I saw it last week, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's still 4 unsigned. That's crazy. I didn't even, what's the deal? But like you said, it's about guarantees or how much you're going to get in the signing bonus, how it's going to get spread out. Either way, it all got done, and time for the Fernandalorian to take off from Vegas.
Better be careful with that. When he tried to get it protected as a.
And what happened? Star Wars said, "The hell with you."
He's gonna have to deal with Big Disney on that one.
Okay.
Here's Mendoza on the presence or not of a competition with a Kirk Cousins in Las Vegas.
Kirk, Aiden, Jacob, everybody in the quarterback room is a top-tier quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop right there.
Woo! You heard what he said second.
I know, right?
I tell
Let's stop
you.
right there. First of all, everybody's not top tier. Let's get that straight. So that should already let you know right now. That's just you know how I say is like coach speak. Now he's just like being media savvy right now, you know, like because the quarterback room is one, right? They're all one. I mean, like they've been slipping a little bit because you know our boy, the number 4 quarterback hasn't been getting named all the time, and Pizzle, like watch out, AOC, because he can get his job taken. So, but the fact that Mendoza came in and grouped all of them together as top tier quarterbacks let you know already that you're not about to get no information out of them, and we're all one. We're all in the same game.
And it's going to be competing with each other, not competing against each other. Competing with each other, pushing each other to be the best quarterback we can possibly be for the Las Vegas Raiders and to enable to then win as many games as possible, rather than against, withholding information, wishing maybe not the best intent on somebody. It's more and wishing the best for, you know, hey, I saw this, hey, I saw that. Competing with each other and growing with each other.
That
Okay.
so sounds cute.
It sounds cute.
Sounds real cute.
We're not competing with each other. No, against each other. We're competing with each other. Like, let's keep it real.
Gaslighter.
Let's keep it real. Well, let's keep it real. You can root for somebody, but at the same time, y'all competing for real. Kirk Cousins for sure competing for a contract because he's trying to get at least one more contract while he plays his final years in the NFL. Aiden O'Connell is trying to be a starter somewhere, even if it ain't here, according to him, right? That's what he said. So, and we know what's our quarterback name? What's your quarterback name?
Jacob Clark.
Clark. I keep wanting to call him Carter. Jacob Clark, JC. You don't think he want a job? He want even like AOC job right now. So
he's gonna get an AOC job.
So they all competing right now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're sharing information, but they're not sharing everything. And even if they were sharing everything, right, it's still going to boil down to how does that translate to your play on the field? Because I could tell you something right now, and if I could tell you a handful of things and they make you better than me, that means we're already close. If I could tell you 1 or 2 tips and you get better than me with those 1 or 2 tips, I don't think that's what the case is. But at the same time, you got to have this united front when it comes to this quarterback room. So I'm going to call BS on what Fernando talking about right there. But at the same time, it does have some legitimacy to it because, you know, they are teammates. So you do want what's best for your teammate because if you do go down or if you don't get the position, you do want your brother to play well because it's about the team first.
Yeah, like you were saying, you know, that's the kind of character that we were looking for in the draft too. You know, so we, you know, that's a me kind of guy that's over there trying to, you know, hide things. Like, you know, you could just be doing mental reps and be seeing what someone's doing wrong, you know, in their little technique or whatever, depending on, you know, what you're doing and what they could be doing differently. And it's not about whether or not he could throw the ball better or any of that. It's who can command the offense. Who knows where the receivers are supposed to be every play?
Yeah.
Who knows the audible to, you know, to what the play is going to go into and where the receivers and everybody's supposed to be on that play. Like, there's a lot to the whole thing. right? And Kirk Cousins already knows about 85, I'd say 85% of the lingo, if not 90% of the lingo, because he's been to a few other places and changed it up. We already know this. I've gone over this a few times. So, he's got a lot less work to do than everybody else who's got to start from scratch. He ain't starting from scratch.
No, he's
He's
not
around the
starting from
corner
scratch.
already. He's already around the corner. You're just starting, and he's already around the corner.
Man, he done been around the corner like 7, 8, 10 times already. Like, it's hard to tell somebody that's been doing it at this level, at a high level. I could see if he was a career backup. He wasn't a career backup. Like, he
He's a
legit is a
career starter.
starter. Yeah, he's a bona fide starter. So let's see what the rest of what he had to say.
That's a tough needle to thread. Competing with, competing against. Only one guy is going to play. Shedeur Sanders has tried to downplay quarterback competition in Cleveland. Like, one guy's playing, the other guy's not. They both want to play. And it's all merit driven, or at least it should be. And, Chris, my theory is.
Wait, it shouldn't necessarily be merit driven. Like, I don't know where people necessarily get this idea that the best player has to play. And what I mean by that is a player can have a little bit more skill than another player, but that doesn't make him the best fit for what's going on. Because, sure, Mendoza probably is more athletic than Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is smarter than him, like by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, he's got
So I would
experience.
rather go with the person that's smarter than the one that's more athletic. And not only that, this is Kubiak's team. He can start who he wants. He can start the player that he feels that will understand his communication better. Like Mendoza don't know the NFL verbiage, or he don't have like Kubiak doesn't have the luxury of sitting there having to drill it into his head because there isn't another quarterback there that he could just go right to him. And as soon as he say, "Hey, I want to do this right here," and Cousins say, "Yeah, okay, I got you because this is right here." Like they're already on the same page. Mendoza's not going to go in there like that. He's going to just say, okay, they're going to go in there, make a couple mistakes. They got to make some tweaks. And then after about a year or two, then he'll be able to have this conversation back and forth with Kubiak. Because it usually takes about the third year in order for a player to really turn the corner, his third year. So, I mean, like, your boy done had like five third years. It's like year 15 for him.
Yeah.
And Mendoza haven't even been in the league no years. And AOC been in the league 4 years. Well, this is going to be his fourth year or something like that.
What's
Yeah,
his
so he
record?
only 7-10, I think. So I just think that this is not a competition at all.
In Las Vegas has been they're trying to keep it from being a full-blown competition, because if it is a full-blown competition, how can the number one overall pick in the draft not beat out 37-year-old Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Well, because 37-year-old Kirk Cousins has won 4 games in a row, and the Raiders ain't won 4 games in a row since probably. Hold on, let me find out. Actually, hold on.
It's been a long time, baby. It's been a long time. Maybe 2016?
Won 4 games.
So the last time the Raiders won 4 games in a row was during the end of the 2021 season, weeks 15 through 18, which is convenient when teams are tanking. Under
Yeah,
interim head, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So that don't count. Not at the end of the season.
This was under the interim head coach Rich Bisaccia. They defeated the Browns. Of course, they was trying to get a draft pick. The Broncos, the Colts, they was trying to get a draft pick, and the Chargers. I think the Chargers was weak then too. But regardless, it's been 5 years since we won 4 games in a row.
And those teams were tanking.
4 years, 4 seasons.
And those
Yeah.
teams are tanking.
Yes. So I don't know where we get off being bougie already.
And we was over here smoking cigars and stuff and acting all cool while we were throwing away draft picks. And everybody, we want Vince Versace as our head coach. Wah. And then for the last
Well,
10 years or the last 5 years, all we've heard is we shouldn't have fired Rick Versace. We should have hired him as our head coach.
man,
Get the fuck
Versace
out.
would have came back the next year and been looking like AP. This man was
Worse.
a special teams coach.
Worse.
Now, I don't know if he would have been worse.
I
I
think
don't
it
know.
would have been
I mean,
worse.
teams play inspired when you get a new coach. I mean, like it happens all the time because they're tired of the old regime, and you play inspired football for like a week or two. You
Yeah.
know,
That's like when you
and
breed up when you leave your woman and stuff, and then she takes you back, and then you're cool for a week, and then you go right back to what you was doing. Stop playing with me.
If it's not an open and fair competition. I think they're trying to rig this thing to not even be a competition. It's not a rigged competition. It's a rigged, not a competition. That Mendoza's taking the back seat because if we let him go out and compete, everybody's going to say, why the hell isn't he the starter?
No, I don't think you're wrong there.
wait a minute, wait. So it's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory. So they're rigging it for Kirk. Do y'all really think Kirk Cousins? They need to rig this for Kirk Cousins? Like I'm losing. I'm kind of not understanding like how on one hand he's not even in any other draft he wouldn't have been the number one pick or even a first round pick, but now he's so good that he can beat out a proven starter in the league, like a top 12 quarterback of all time. I'm just saying. Well, I won't say a top 12 quarterback statistically, because I won't say he's better than some players, but statistically, he's up there. And it's not like those years were far behind him. We can go as far as last year. Last year, the man won 5 games, like
4 in a row.
and 4 in a row, right? Like it's not like he's a shell of his self. We haven't seen that. He just was injured, and then Atlanta kept trying to put in Penix. Penix was not that guy, and they're finding that out now. Now they're going to try to find out a way to get rid of him. That's what they're going to do. I bet you this new regime is going to get rid of Penix. I bet you Penix won't be starting in Atlanta for a long time, not multiple seasons. He ain't going to be there for multiple seasons, especially if he get beat out by Tua. Okay, y'all. Here come the funniest part, though.
They're trying to keep the pressure off the number one pick, not make him feel like he's got to carry the franchise right away from day one, bring him along, get him mental and physical confidence in the offense and all of that. I think that's where they are with that. And we see teams take this approach a lot. And, of course, like we've always talked about, they take this approach and they go, it's not a competition, and all of a sudden the number one pick's the starter the first week. And they go, well.
Wait, when has that happened? Because usually the number one pick isn't in competition with anybody. And if they do say that, we already know that that's a lie because the person that they have there wasn't starting there before. Because because usually teams are bad because they don't have a quarterback. And I'm talking about on the roster, period, like that can win them games. And that's not this situation that we have here. We have a quarterback. Y'all, we're forgetting Klint Kubiak went and got this guy. He went and got him. He went and picked him to be the quarterback. It's not like he would looked on the roster and said, "We have AOC and we have Mendoza, so this is going to be a quarterback competition." And then, because had it just been them two, it would have been a real quarterback competition. If it would have been just Mendoza and AOC, it would have been a quarterback competition then. But it's not one now with with Kirk Cousins.
He did enough. He's good. But we'll see. I mean, I will say this. you do get to a point when I was in the NFL my second year, you do become mature enough. You do start to realize it's not about that guy. It's about what I do when the opportunities I get. When you start worrying about that guy, you'll mess up your own stuff because you're worried about him. Just stay on that. And I think that's where he's trying to convey the right message a little bit.
That's true. So far, it's true.
I was competing against Brad Johnson my second year in the NFL, right? I knew I was physically more gifted than him. I knew he had played more football and had experience with him. But I didn't root against him. And I could say that with all my heart. I really didn't. And he was great to me. He was doing the things that Fernando Mendoza was talking about. He was teaching me things along the way and doing that. And I just made it about me. And slowly but surely, I walked him down and became the starter the third or fourth week of the year. And I think that's what he's trying to hope to do here too.
Lie, cap. That boy capping, boy.
Stop the cap.
Is he talking about Brad Johnson, the one that won Super Bowl?
Yep. That's
Oh
what
no,
he's talking about.
Hold on. And he walked him down?
Yeah, he walked him down like a dog.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know how I am, bro. I'm about to do the education real quick. I actually already did the education and it didn't add up. So here we go. We're gonna talk about Chris Sims, not Phil Sims, but Chris Sims. So let's talk about Chris Sims real quick, just briefly, y'all. He was drafted in the third round in 2003. Brad Johnson was the starting quarterback. Sean King was the backup. So he was the number 3 quarterback. Mr. Walk him down.
Mr. Walk down, nobody.
He said no, the second year, that's when he walked him down.
Right. So
the second year, he played in 5 games, started 2. He went 42 for 73 in completions and attempts, 467 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 64.1 passing rating. This is the year that he walked them down, y'all.
He walked him down with those numbers? Damn, Brad Johnson must have really been bad.
And then he did start the following year, though, 10 games out of 11. He went from 191 for 313, threw for 2,035 yards, had 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, had an 81.4 passing rating. Mind you, that this is his best year that he played right there. And then he played 3 games, started 3 games after that, 587 yards, 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions, a 46.3 passing rating. Didn't play at all the year after that. Didn't start at all when he got sent to Tennessee. Went to Denver, started 1 game, went 5 for 17, threw for 23 yards, 29% completion, with only no touchdowns, with 1 interception, with a 15.1 passing rating. And then after that, he went to Tennessee, didn't do anything. So this is his career stats, y'all. Career stats. 16 games started, 23 games played, 58% completion, 3,117 yards passing. This is for his career, y'all.
How's he have a job?
12 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Now, what I will say is this. AOC had a better career than him. For sure. AOC had a better career than Chris Sims. Now, let's talk about the walking Brad Johnson thing down. Chris Sims took over for Brad Johnson in week 5 of the 2004 season because Brad Johnson was playing bad. He was 0-4. He was 0-4. So you didn't walk nothing down. He lost his job because he wasn't playing good. Yeah, he gave up his own job. But check this out, though.
Yeah, he got himself fired.
Yeah, he got himself fired. So in week 5, Chris Sims came in against the Saints, but he injured his shoulder early in that game. So which led to Brian Greasy taking over as the starter for the most of the season. So he got hurt. He went in, he walked him down, hurt his shoulder after walking him down, and then didn't start for the rest of the season. But then Sims permanently took over the primary starting role in 05. Remember, that's when he went. He played the 10 games and 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So he started 10 games, but he didn't even start the following season, though. Brian Greasy started the following season. He started 6 games before a season-ending knee injury. So Brian Greasy, who came in and started the following season, injured his knee. So I guess Chris Sims walked him down and started 10 games. But the other quarterbacks that was on that roster was Luke McCown and Tim Rattay. Y'all remember Tim Rattay? And they got him in the middle of the season. So Brian Greasy started the 05 season, played the first 6 games, got injured. Y'all want to know what Chris Sims' overall regular season starting record is? 7-9. Hey, AOC is at least 7-10, and he started 17 games. So he started more games than Chris Sims. But the thing about Chris Sims is he played how many seasons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons. 8 seasons, and only has 16 starts. So I don't know, man. So his record was he went 1-1 in 6-4 in 05. So that was good. At least he had a winning record. And 0-3 in 06 and 0-1 in 09. And he also started 1 playoff game for the Bucks, bringing his overall record to 7-10. So I don't know what he mean by he walked somebody down. And he made it sound like that he beat Brad Johnson out of his spot, and he didn't. So I don't know what was up with that. I see the chat. I got you guys. And this was the last thing. This is the only thing I remember about Chris Sims really in his career. This is the only thing I remember.
Balance because you're on a team. You're all pulling the oar in the direction aimed at being as successful as possible, but only one guy's playing.
I know, it's tough. It is tough.
And it's just a matter of time before the guy's Mendoza. If Mendoza isn't the starter in Las Vegas sooner rather than later, they made another Jamarcus Russell-sized mistake with the first overall pick in the draft.
Did this man said Jamarcus? See, this is nothing like Jamarcus Russell.
As far as I'm concerned, that dude's got 0 credibility. You don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Here's your boy Chris Sims in action.
Let's go scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 372 Y stick, Z spot.
Here we go. Scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 382 Y stick.
Christ. Just go scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 372 Y stick, Z spot.
Here we go.
Scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 372, X stick, Y spot. That's what that is. Scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 372, X stick, Y spot. That's what it is, bro.
Scatter. Okay. Say it again.
Scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 372 Y stick, Z spot.
Here we go. Scatter to
west, right, tight.
Scatter to west, right, tight, F left, 382. 372.
Y stick, Z spot.
Z spot. I'm already break.
Christ. Huh?
I'm the problem.
So look. As a quarterback, if you don't get that clear, right, and then a receiver run out there and run a wrong route, or in this case, the old lineman go the wrong direction, then it could cause you to get injured. You can cause this guy to lose his job, not with one play, but if a culmination of calling the wrong play or not being confident in calling the play. then there's going to be an issue. Like you got to be a competent signal caller, a play caller. That's why they call quarterbacks a play caller, right? So, like you said, at least he took ownership and said it was me. But I mean that was clear.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Making you nervous, aren't I?
No, I just couldn't spit it out.
So he said, I'm making you nervous. He said, no, I couldn't spit it out. Remember I tell y'all about coach speak? Well, when Gruden walked away like that, y'all know what that means?
He knew he was lying.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to hear that. So this is the play call. This is the play call. Scatter the west. That's the motion. Right tight. That means the tight end is on the right side. So the motion is going to go from left to right to the west. The tight end is on the right side. The Y, which is the fullback, is on the left side. Y left. 372. So it's 300 protection. So I mean, it's 300. It's 300 is a 3-step drop for the quarterback. 7 is the protection, which way you're going to slide. I mean, the whole line is going to slide. 2 is to the even side. So they're going to slide to the right, which is the even side. The X run a stick route, and the Z runs a spot route. That tells everybody what they need to do. And if the quarterback can't verbalize that or get it out, as he said, I just couldn't get it out. I wasn't nervous. I just couldn't get it out. Like, no, bro, you was nervous and you couldn't get it out. So,
Yeah, he was getting high.
Chris Sims, that was your claim to fame to me, of that. But you brought up something that he did that was probably even better than that. What was it, Pizzle?
I think he was high.
No, you said he threw the ball into the.
Oh, to the cannon. Yeah, he got lucky and threw the ball into the cannon.
Right.
At Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Cost him $2,500.
Right. Yeah. So Piz, I'm done with that. I'm about to go through the comments, so you need to bounce. That's cool, bro. I appreciate you.
Yep.
I know you have things to do.
Go prep my chicken. I got to go. Right
I know
on,
you have
chat.
to
Right
do.
on, man. I'll talk to you guys later. See you later this week.
That's right. Appreciate it. Hey, Pizzle.
Yeah.
Scatter the west, right tight, Y left, 372, X stick, Y spot. On one. Ready?
Yeah,
I'm gonna write that out.
I'm a Raider though. Later.
All right, let me get to the comments, y'all. And if you guys want me to get to the comments sooner, you can hit your boy up with a super chat because I'm officially monetized. I do get super chats. I do appreciate anything you guys can do to keep the channel going because I gotta finance everything. And I've been trying to keep us afloat until we can get monetized. And we do have a membership now. Shout out to D Menace he is a real one. He's the one who consistently comments. And Weber, y'all comment all the time too. I don't know if you guys know or not, and if you're able to, and whenever you guys can get into that membership because the membership is gonna go crazy. The membership is going to go crazy because I can go in there and I can explain some things that I can't necessarily explain on regular YouTube. And there's some things I want to tell you guys about, like the one moment NWA was a thing and the next moment it wasn't, or how me and Pizzle got thrown from the train, or just film breakdown, So that membership is not a lot, One tier is $199, the other tier is $499. It's going to be definitely worth it. The first 10 people will get 50% off the merch. The merch will be dropping this week. So get to it. So let's get to the comments. He said, I would have picked Kirk Cousins contract over Derek's contract too if I was the Raiders. It says, I love that you talk about any article related to the Raiders, any topic speaking of one of the John Gruden lawsuit. No, not yet, but I will be looking into that though. Fernando Mendoza definitely rewarded how I would have described that. He called him a gaslighter. Gaslighter indeed. That's a good mentality in our young, new leadership. Yeah, the thing about him is he's going to definitely say the right things, and you do want your quarterback to be able to articulate things so you don't make certain people look bad, and you take all the pressure. That's the job of a quarterback, is to be the thankless leader, because you definitely get a lot of praise when things go right. And then it's up to you to spread that love around, starting with the O line. As being a quarterback, the first thing that you almost always do is give love to the O line, because if you don't, I'm talking about anybody on that O line, because if you don't, that could be the hole that somebody comes in and gets you knocked out the game and somebody else come into the game. Let's see. Every player should want to win, and every player wants to play. It's just a matter of priorities. Facts. Let's see here. Let's see. Cousins probably had a few choices too. Yeah. Cousins might have had some few choices. I don't know, because I did hear Mike Florio try to say that no one really wanted Kirk Cousins, or he was a number two quarterback. He's not a number two quarterback. Atlanta tried to reduce him down to a number two quarterback, and we see how that happened. I'm not sure of who tried to sign him, but I'm sure uh, Miami would have been a team. Arizona would have been a team. Even Minnesota might even been a team for him to consider ending his career with. Um, Maybe the Jets, if he wanted to compete against Geno Smith. All these teams that people say that AOC could potentially start for, I'm pretty sure that the same would apply to Kirk Cousins. Chris Sims is a has-been. Matt McGloin is better than Chris Sims. Webb said he was walking all right. Jack Gustav was good with your brethren. So, yeah, they're just talking, man. Chris Sims was just talking, man. Talking about he walked down Brad Johnson. That was a lie. That was a lie. Let's see. Some other things that we could talk about, since see if we can get the algorithm to break through. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Like I said, YouTube is kind of, I'm not saying it's shadow banned, but I don't know what happened. Like ever since I've been monetized. But I did take a little small break in between there with putting content, because I didn't want nothing to happen with the monetization. And they were like, bro, where'd you go? So I guess I have to start from the bottom again, which is fine with me, because the grind is going to be the grind regardless. Have you guys seen? I've been dropping some shorts. I've been dropped some videos. I mean, they're essentially repetitive, saying the same thing about this is why we don't start Mendoza. It seems like everyone keeps wanting to, not everyone, a lot of people keep wanting to try to put that into the conversation. Why Mendoza is not starting? It's been clear all off season why he hasn't. Yeah, always hit the like. Always hit the like. Okay, let me see. Let me talk about a few things I want to talk about. Let's see. Maybe I can talk about this later tonight. Maybe that's what I'll do. I got a show tonight. We'll do a show tonight, and we'll talk about some random things about what's going on. I want to say shout out to Brock Bowers and his new fiance. I understand getting married isn't the popular thing to do in this day and age. It's hard to find someone that really care about you. I mean, she got a bunch of millions of ways uh, to to leverage herself financially, but I'm sure he's not a stupid guy. And Ritter Antoine, I'm gonna hit you too, because I kind of, if you're free tonight, then I want you to come on the show too. So for sure. So I appreciate you guys for hacking into the show. Me and Pizzle, definitely thank you guys. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the loyalty. It's only one nation. That's the Raider Nation. because, you know, I'm a Raider. You're a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. You already know it. Webb, he says that Mendoza question was answered before we drafted him, but some folks didn't want to hear that part. They don't want to hear it because I can keep saying it. I'm tired of having to clip it and put it out there, but I have to keep doing it because as much as they're saying it, I have to give it some pushback because either these people are low key sabotaging or trying to sabotage the team. They can't sabotage the team because Klint Kubiak ain't even listening to these people. He's not even online, so these people aren't even listening to him, them, or me. But I think they just low key want to see the Raiders not do good, so they can say, "See, I told you guys," or so you can be like, "Oh, well, you know, Jamarcus Russell." Like it's like they build you up to tear you down. Like people like to build you up just so they can tear you down, and I'm not with that one. I'm not with that. So I'm always going to give it pushback whenever I get the chance. Because, like you said, Webb, you already know the stat 25, 82, and 2, right?
I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.